And welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show tonight. Thank you. Welcome, Missing Mod. Thank you so much. Welcome, Bub. Thank you so much. Welcome, Lucky. And if I've missed anybody, oh well. Okay. Basically, I'll put. Let's just do this. Bub says good evening, Simon's Fabio, and good evening, Missing Mod. Thank you very much for that. Synchronous driving. Yep. Let me just put the shot up there for you. That was the one we're talking about. Look at that. Oh my goodness, the talent of these drivers. And going back to comments, somebody else called Lucky there. Thanks for Christian sabotaging Max's car. Makes the championship exciting. It does make it exciting. Okay, well look, we've got to show, and controversial too. Quite right. So, okay, so we're going to try and get this done in an hour because we're going to try and stick to our time. So there'll be no falafel on this one, and basically I'm just going to start the show. So, welcome to the 2024 F1 World Championship, round 17. Unlike what it says in the title description, round 17 from Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan,
No, listen, it's a good thing for you. I mean, because you say we want to go on schedule, and it takes you 5 minutes to name the name of the circuit. So yeah, carry on. That's jolly good.
Okay, so I'll get it right. So welcome everybody to the 2024 F1 World Championship round 17 from Azerbaijan. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Azerbaijan. The Baku Grand Prix. Welcome everybody. Welcome, Lucky Wolfin 7, the not an expert. Welcome, and of course, welcome as ever to the fabulous, furry, freaky, Fabio.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Now we get Azerbaijan. Okay, I'm talking about the place. That's all. That's where we're racing from.
You mean Baku?
I mean Baku, yes.
Okay, yeah.
The circuit Baku in the country called Azerbaijan. No, Azerbaijan. Okay, moving onwards then. Thank you so much. We are going to just get away with a fantastic qualifying session. Of course, the maestro of qualifying and the maestro of Azerbaijan of Baku, Charles Leclerc in pole position with a fantastic 142.775. Very good lap. Second, Oscar Piastri, who turns out to be one of the chief qualifiers for Rear of the Year this year. 143.0, and then Carlos Sainz in the other Ferrari, showing Ferrari have got the low drag speed, and then incredibly in fourth place, the only Sergio Perez from Red Bull Racing Honda RBPT. Fantastic. I mean, unbelievable. Just to say, he out-qualified Max Verstappen by 2 places, and also by don't know what time did he get? 141 actually at 0.8. So he out-qualified him by 0.2 of a second. Unheard of. George Russell in 5th place, by the way. Lewis Hamilton 7th. Alonso 8th. Okay, so that was the qualifying. Unbelievable qualifying to start with. It was nail-biting. And then onwards with the race. So, as always, a great start by Leclerc, into first place, pulling away, followed by Piastri and Sainz and Perez, fighting it down into the second corner. Perez getting ahead into corner number 3 with Max making up a slot. So along the back straight, Russell also getting away to a good start, and then basically Sainz just pulling in behind Perez, and it was to stay that way for at least a short while. Lance Stroll making what some might say was an ambitious move on Yuki, but Yuki not giving him any room at all. So they were going to come together, and that was to be a theme of the Azerbaijan of the Baku race. So
when you said ambitious there, do you spell that DUMB by any chance?
Yeah, but like Senna famously said, if there is a gap and you no longer go for a gap in racing, you're not a racing driver. Stroll proving that he has some race left in him. Okay, so Norris starting way back on the grid because of the problems in qualifying, which I didn't mention, but nonetheless he started back in 15th after qualifications, some disqualifications in qualifying, starting to make his way up. And by lap 8, he was 11th, just getting into the points. Beginning of lap 8, I should say. He was just into the points in 10th place. It was a fantastic drive by Norris. He was eventually going to drive some way up the field. Then Norris coming up lap 15 behind Sergio Perez and taking him relatively easily. We will discuss as to why it was easy in a minute. But nonetheless, really good drive by Norris to get up to an eventual, I think it was 5th place. Guys, can you just tell me?
It was, I don't know.
Verstappen. Fourth place, of course. Fourth place,
yeah.
Fourth. Managed to get Verstappen on the last lap. And of course, it was 4th place because of several things which were about to happen. I'm anticipating, but it was the only real event in the race that was noteworthy, I feel. Lap 19, Leclerc it's still leading the race. Piastri 2nd place, 0.3 behind. Into lap 20, Piastri made a lunge and a deep dive and managed to block off Leclerc from coming back at him in turn 2. This was to be the decisive move for the win of the race. And in fact, Leclerc would never get the chance to get even alongside the very, very fast McLaren. And in some ways, spoiled of a potential race of overtake and counter overtake. But at the same time, Piastri drove a faultless race to just stay ahead all the time. I mean, he made no mistakes whatsoever for some 40-odd laps. Leclerc, on the other hand, just could not get close enough to the back of him to make a pass down the main straight. And that was to decide the race. And then, of course, on the last lap, there was some, as the tyres were wearing out, etc., there was, in fact, some major drama. I should say here, Verstappen had a nightmare of a race. He was complaining about his car bouncing and just had no grip, no turn in, no power. Also, I think he complained that the radio was on the wrong channel as well. He was tuned into LBC instead of Dutch radio. So there was that as well. He was complaining about a lot of things, basically, is what I'm saying there. As I say, Norris up to 4th place at lap 32 with only 21 laps to go, 19 laps to go. Piastri, Leclerc, 1/10 of a second behind, just could not get alongside. Really great defense by the young lad Piastri. Really good looking behind, as I'm saying. And then, of course, Perez, who by this time is in 3rd place, caught up to the back of Leclerc, eventually caught up to the back of Leclerc. And basically, as he was trying to overtake him into turn 1, Leclerc showed that he had the defense needed, and he did not let Perez by at all. And in fact, it was a fantastic, as I say, a fantastic defense. that he pushed Perez out wide. That allowed Sainz to come by, and as he was trying to overtake him down the next straight, Sainz moved across the track, and unfortunately they came together and crashed into the barrier together. This was more of a disaster, I would say, for the number two drivers. For Sainz, because he doesn't have many races left, and he potentially could have gone on the back of Leclerc. For Perez, he was ahead of Verstappen for the first time in his career. I think that's probably the first time he's ever been ahead of Verstappen. Obviously, he was a very excited lad because of that, and he could have prevented the contact, and almost should have done, because obviously that would have been the prudent thing to do. He had a lot of room on his outside to move, and even if he'd fallen behind, you've got to feel that car was quick enough to take the Ferrari in the DRS zone. However, as I say, Perez decided that he wasn't going to move, and Sainz, coming back onto the circuit proper, made contact with him, and they both crashed out. And of course, this then led to the final laps going through, and the final result, really, which was Piastri in first place by 10 seconds from Charles Leclerc, 18 points, the pastry, Charles Leclerc. George Russell in third place. I didn't talk about George at all. He just appeared in third place from somewhere. No idea how that happened. He said he had very good pace at the end of the race, which was a mystery to him. Lando Norris in fourth place. Fourth place from 15th around this circuit. Very good job. Max Verstappen in fifth place, 10 points. So he loses only 3 points to Lando Norris. Fernando Alonso, sixth place. Alex Albon in the Williams, an incredible seventh place. And of course, somebody who shall remain nameless for the moment in eighth place. Ninth place, Lewis Hamilton. Disastrous race for Lewis, really. And an incredible 10th place, 1 point, Oliver Bearman, which is a fantastic result in the Haas. So this gives, of course, Oliver, in his first two starts, points for two different constructors, a first in Grand Prix history. And then all the rest followed. Can't actually remember where they did, but lots of DNFs, including Perez. So are we surprised? I don't think we are. Anyway, that is the race review. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pass it straight over to the fabulous, furry, freaky, Fabio.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting race. There were mostly because of some episodes in the race. I mean, it wasn't overall a great race. It was quite boring, but nevertheless, there were some episodes which actually defined the race overall. The first one is the first thing is I want to talk about is Perez. Perez managed to do a fantastic weekend, way better than Verstappen, always ahead of Verstappen. And then he thought, okay, how can I end it properly, like Mexican style? I'm gonna shit all over the place in the last lap by doing something really stupid, and he did. So yeah, kudos to Perez. I was afraid he was actually going to become a very good driver, and thank God he proved me wrong, and he just shat all over himself and his fantastic weekend so far at the last lap with that stupid maneuver on sides. Other things. The overtake of Piastri on Leclerc was the defining moment for the victory in the Grand Prix. Leclerc was caught by surprise. I mean, Piastri did a fantastic overtake. He basically forgot where the braking pedal was, and he managed to make the corner anyway. Really, really, really good deep dive. It reminded me of the good old Ricciardo. When he used to do that kind of things. Really good, deep braking zone. Managed to make the corner anyway. Really good. Caught Leclerc by surprise, which by his own admission, he said, I didn't think it was going to go. And when I saw him, I said, okay, I'm gonna catch him up. The problem was that that went downhill from there on, because Piastri's car was a lot faster on the. It wasn't the fastest car on the track, but it was a lot faster than Ferrari on the straight, especially without the DRS. Because with the DRS, the Ferrari was a little bit faster, but not enough to gain, that much of on Piastri's car. We thought that it should have been, closer, like less than 0.5 of a second before the DRS opened. He never got in that situation. He was gaining on the corners, but he couldn't bite on the straight. So that basically destroyed his race, because he was trying to get close to him in order to use DRS, but DRS, he wasn't close enough to properly use the DRS. Furthermore, he suddenly had Perez on his back, so it was basically sandwiched between Piastri and Perez. That destroyed his tires, and at the end he had none of it when Perez tried to move. But at that time, Leclerc decided, he had enough of stupid people trying to overtake him in the same spot, and he just did a proper defense, which by his own admission, he didn't do that on Piastri, because he was caught by surprise, and he thought he could have, got back at him, which didn't happen. So yeah, that was Leclerc and Piastri's race. Other thing, really, really, really good results from the rookies. Colapinto and Berman. Unfortunately for Hülkenberg lost 2 positions basically in the last lap because of the Sainz Perez accident. He had a double yellow. He was thinking, okay, they're surely gonna call a safety car, but then they put the green flag again, and he was overtaken by. I think it was an Alpine, if I remember correctly, and his own teammate. So yeah, that was really unfortunate. It did a very good race, and it went all to the crapper in the last under 20 seconds for him. So yeah, basically that was the race. Really interesting race. Leclerc not happy. Norris. I think Norris, all in all, he was okay. Verstappen was really happy. He just lost not too many points on Norris. And keep remembering what I said last time. I'm not really sure that Verstappen can actually win the championship right now.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, before you go, what do you think of Ferrari this weekend? Do you think they've now got a car that's a lot more stable than it has been before Monza?
Well, I mean, we knew that Baku is a track which suits the Ferrari. That should be true for the next race in Singapore too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was expecting a solid performance. What Leclerc did on the qualifying, though, that was something,
pretty special.
Very impressive. I mean, that guy. I don't know what the fuck is with that guy in city circuits. It was his 4th pole in Baku. So yeah, I mean, he obviously has a very nice feeling with the track. But again, even Sainz wasn't that far. So yeah, solid performance. It was kind of expected.
Okay. So we just want to talk quickly now, because this is the right time to do it before we go to Lucky, about the McLaren bendy rear wing.
Yeah.
What they were calling the mini DRS. And this actually, after the race, we found out was the reason that Leclerc couldn't get anywhere near the back of the McLaren. So the McLaren's top speed was less. It had less of an effect with the DRS.
Yeah.
But its top speed was influenced by having this particular, like this bit of the wing here, basically, that opens up and lets a little bit more air through.
Yeah.
And this, of course, everybody complained about afterwards, as you would expect they would. But with the FIA's, I think with the FIA's ruling on the front wing, saying that they're not going to do anything about it this year, and it's interesting to notice that the Red Bull front wing bent more than I've ever seen it bend, even going back to the big scandal in the whatever it was 2004 season or something like that, where they were the only ones to have a bendy wing. I've never seen it bend more than that, and I think the other teams have increased the flexibility of their front wing as well. Although after this weekend, there will be a lot more manufacturing of new wings, front and rear. So
I think,
go ahead.
I think there is something really interesting that McLaren has done, and only McLaren has done that, both on the rear and the front wing. There is also some other pictures, if you can show them later on. But this is interesting. This is the rear wing, and if you can, point your mouse, whatever, to the aperture on. So the first three pictures are from low drag, slow speed, and the bottom three pictures are from the same cars but a higher speed. And you can see there is like a slice which bends upwards, funnily enough, on the plane of the McLaren. That is the same thing which happens on the front wing. So the thing that McLaren has done that no other team has made so far, they have found a way to weave and cook carbon fiber in such a way that they have a very precise behavior at certain loads. So if you measure that car with the FIA rules, and they're measured static, I think that the rear wing, they apply like 500 newtons on the rear wing, and I can't remember on the front wing, stuff like that. That's totally fine. They're totally by the rule. There is no questions asked. It's fine, right? But the way they managed to build the actual carbon fiber on those parts is built in such a way that they allow to flex over the load which is allowed by the FIA, and it's super interesting. I've read that the other teams are trying to play catch up. I don't know if they'll be able to replicate exactly what happens with McLaren, because believe me, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of data in order to replicate that particular. It's all in the way that the wing is actually built. It's all in the way that the carbon fiber is actually weaved and cooked. So it's not going to be easy, but they have an advantage because top speed for McLaren with DRS off, like in the close position, was, I think it was 4 or 5 kilometers faster than Ferrari. But with the DRS open, Ferrari was like 4 kilometers faster than McLaren. So that is the delta right now, and it's very effective. So yeah, and also you can see that on the front wing. I don't know if you can pop up the other.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure because there's lots of pictures, so I don't know what picture I'm bringing up. Like
the first two ones, the one where Piastri is trying to overtake Leclerc, and the second one where it basically is on almost on the apex of the first corner. The first two ones I sent you.
What the one I made the thumbnail out of? You can share it if you want, and then I'll
hold on a second. So
we'll get. I'll put these back up again if you want to comment on them in a minute, Lucky. Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure about this, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I mean, just to say that the person that the person that introduced this idea of bendy wings and really mastered it was, of course, Adrian Newey, when he was designing the Red Bull back in the day, and it was a big scandal. And there's always been flexible wings, but not deliberately flexible to the degree that it gives you such an advantage. So I'm just stalling now while Fabio gets his stuff together and shows the thing.
While he's doing that, let me just reiterate what you said earlier.
Go ahead.
This is now a saga that's been going on for 20 years?
Oh, at least, yeah.
It's about time somebody got a handle on this FIA and get this sorted out, because it's just a saga that never seems to end.
Well, we did have a solution last year, and the solution was to put dots on the wings, and then have a camera looking at the wings in order to measure how much the dots moved in relation to fixed parts of the car. But for some reason this year they all went, fuck it don't matter, which is a shame. Okay, let me just add this. There we go.
Okay, so this is if you look here, right? You can see how much you see of the sponsor, whatever. This is, Piastri just before overtaking Leclerc, 17 meters. Now, if you look at this, I hope I get the right one. Let me see. Yeah. Now, if you look at this, hold on a second, I gotta share again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's a big difference. Yeah.
There is a huge difference. I mean, you can see beneath here, and the sponsor is gone. So I mean, I know during Discord, it's really difficult to figure out how much is the the difference. Yeah. My gut feeling, I think that at least on the front one, I think that they bent at least 40 millimeters, 4 centimeters, which is a lot.
That is a hell of a lot.
I know.
I really don't think it's that much, but nonetheless, the Red Bull went from what I said last race. I noticed this happening last race quite a lot, and I said I think it was the race before, actually, it might have been. Both of the wings were all, for most of the season, have been bending roughly 4 to 6 millimeters. Okay. Now, I hadn't noticed. We'd never had a camera on the front of the, or the same camera had been used on the front of the McLaren for whatever reason. I don't know, but we'd never seen that. But this time round, after Christian Horner has said, well, we're all going to use it, then their wing literally bent over 15 millimeters.
I think. Well, again, it's just my opinion. I think they bent way more. And by the way, to reply to Bob Elvis, it is totally legal. They've checked it. It's fine, because now the way that they measure the the flexibility is by they tried it while they're static, and they apply a certain amount of force, and they got to bend that much. So basically, what McLaren has been able to do is to have a wing which is rigid enough up to the point when it is measured. So up to the point where the load is measured, however how many newtons are applied on the wing. But then it just lets go after that load is applied. Which again, it's legal. There is no way around it because they only measure when it's static, and it's fine. So again, I agree. Kudos to McLaren. No question there. Mm-hmm. Other people got to play catch up.
So okay. So go ahead, Lucky. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's a very clever thing that they've done because they've managed to increase flex as it flexes. The more it flexes, the more it will flex, which is really clever.
So first of all, it's way more difficult. I mean, believe me, it's way more difficult to do in that way. It's extremely complicated. The amount of calculation it involves, the amount of skill it involves to build a wing which behaves in such a way, it's really mind-boggling.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and then, there is also another event. Sorry, and I'll quit. But this is, I mean, when we say that F1 is also an engineering sport, this is what really means. The other advantage that they have is that the wings they react way faster than they used to do. When the whole thing with Red Bull used to be. Those were way slower to come up. Now they come up really quicker. And that is also another advantage because you suddenly have more downforce when you're braking.
Yeah.
Which is another thing which I'm sure helped Piastri pull in that fantastic overtake.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just put a couple of bits of flesh on the bone there, really. Again, I think 40 mil is probably a little ambitious, shall we say. Okay, so there's two things I want to mention here. The first thing is last year, and this is why the teams have not really, the other teams like Red Bull, etc., have not really gone into this area. Last year, the teams agreed through common denominator or common acceptance, and with the dots patterns that they were using to measure bending, the FIA, that is, the teams agreed that they would stick to the spirit of the law, of the rules. And the spirit of the rules is that they're not supposed to have any flexi wings at all. And what was done was there was an agreement to say, right, we're going to have a minimum amount of flexibility in the wings, because otherwise they would just break. And we don't want them breaking because that's dangerous. So basically, they all agreed that roughly about 6 mil would be about the level that would be acceptable, and they stuck to that for the last 2 years, simply because the FIA had a new way of measuring it. As I say, these dots that they were putting on the wings, the dots don't seem to be there this year for whatever reason, and as a result, McLaren have been first to jump on the bandwagon of saying, right, well, if we don't have to stick to the spirit of the rules, even though we've agreed to it, we're not going to. Okay, so that's the first thing. The same exactly. That's exactly what it does, Bub. Yeah. Okay, so one of the ways that Bub says that does it allow McLaren to run with more downforce, i.e., more wing for the same top speed? Yes, that is exactly what it does. Or vice versa. They can have.
It's the contrary. When they're at top speed, they actually go with
but where you need the downforce.
Oh yeah, when you downforce,
you have more downforce than you would for the same top speed.
Yeah,
whichever way you want to look at it, it doesn't matter which way. Effectively, it allows them to put more downforce on the car, right? And then when they get to top speed, the wings bend, which gives them less drag, which means they go faster. That's effectively it. Now, the way they tend to do this is there's two ways traditionally they've done it. Firstly, it's the weave, as Fabio correctly said. It's the weave of the different layers of carbon fiber that they put together that allows the wing to bend under specific loads. And the angles at which you put the weaves together mean that it can take more or less load. But what's different this year, I think, or what McLaren have been very good in doing, is using the baking process of the way that the weaves are baked together to allow more rigidity up to these particularly high particularly high newtons, 500 newtons test, and then all of a sudden they go floppy, right? And as you said, it's because once they start bending, they bend a lot more.
Yeah,
they bend more, and that's down to the baking of the carbon fiber in the mold.
They're stiff up to a certain point, and then they just give up. And it's really mind-boggling. I mean, it's so
and
good.
again, it's not I don't think they can engineer it with precision as such. So I think what they tend to do is they know roughly what angles they're going to have the weave at to give the desired effect, and then they just bake a few of them until they get the one which doesn't deflect under the 500 newtons, basically.
And by the way, you're right about the spirit of the rules. You're right. You're totally right. But I think you're forgetting the main spirit of F1.
Yeah, no, I'm not forgetting it, of course. But...
No. I'm just, I was just teasing you because you're right. There is a spirit that says you don't have you shouldn't have flexy things. Right. That's the spirit of that thing. But then there is the overall spirit of F1, which is fuck you. I'm gonna do whatever the rule doesn't say I can't. Which is the overarching spirit, if you want.
Agreed.
So
agreed. The other thing I just want to mention quickly before we pass it over to Lucky for the particular different sections is that Red Bull, Christian Horner, was trying to say that the drop-off in form of the Red Bull is down to the fact that they haven't had flexi wings, right? Which is nonsense because, of course, they've had flexi wings all season. I mean, Red Bull, if anybody, know more about flexi wings than any other team on the grid. So, I'm just saying the difference being here that for some reason McLaren have not been had a camera on the front of their car. I don't understand why they haven't. Both Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull have all had the wing-mounted camera, and with the wing-mounted camera, it's specifically designed to see how much the front wing bends. And I don't know why McLaren have not had it. There seems to be something there. Secondly, the drop-off in the Red Bull performance is still unexplained as far as I'm concerned because it's not down to flexi wings. So the very fact that Christian Horner is saying it is down to the flexi wings, right, just means that there was something else or is something else there which is no longer on their car. And, I hate to just wind up the conspiracy a bit more, but I truly believe that something has happened to it within Red Bull, and something is going on there which will come out in future years. I'm going to hand it over to Lucky if you just be brief.
Go. No, go.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to hand it over now to Lucky, not an expert, and of course we have a new section.
I've got a couple of things I wanted to mention about the race, if that's okay, beforehand.
Okay, you remember you remember the new title though of the section that we're talking about?
The hurry the fuck up section.
No. The Informe de Pinto Colapino, or whatever his name is.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I was going to say you thought it was all over, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to start with Logan Saljon again. Franco Colapinto.
Jesus Christ! We can't get rid of the guy. Jesus Christ!
Colapinto.
Okay, over to you. I'm gonna mute Fabio just so you can.
That's that anti-American hate coming out again. Okay, so Franco Colapinto has now done 2 races for Williams and has outscored by 4 times the amount of points that Logan got in the 23-24 season. So it's just as well, I think, that Logan is Logan. Speaking of Williams, the first time in 3 seasons since 2 Williams have finished in the points at the same race, believe it or not. So Williams, hopefully on the comeback, Apparently, they're still a bit short in cash, though, I think. I heard rumours over the weekend that they couldn't afford another chassis if any problems happened. But we'll see about that. As you mentioned earlier, Ollie Berman, first driver ever to score points for two different manufacturers in his first race, which is interesting. Here's something else that's interesting. Who do you think is the top scorer over the last 7 Grand Prix?
The last 7, it's Norris.
No, surprisingly not. What do you think, Simon? No, it's not.
The last Piastri. 7?
Yeah, it's Piastri.
Oh, yeah, the last 7 is Piastri. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Piastri.
Piastri, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Outscoring
78 points, I think, mate.
I'm just going to mute him, don't worry. Go ahead.
It was him that wanted to be quick as well.
I'm joking.
So surprisingly enough, the man who sort of seems to be the number 2 driver is outscoring the number 1 driver. However, could we say that is by design rather than anything else? Because he was gifted the win at Hungary. Monza, I think that his bravery rather than anything else got him the higher position there. And this race off his own merit. So what do you think?
Yeah, he's just outperformed Norris. Norris has been obviously feeling the nerves a little more. Hasn't performed at the normal high standard that he did at the beginning of the season, and Piastri's just been better. I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
Do you think maybe this you need to get a tough idea that they're putting onto Norris is maybe putting too much pressure on him, or what? Because I mean, remember Norris was the joker of the pack, and they're now trying to stop him being the joker of the pack and make him the tough guy of the pack. Right. Is this something he can transfer over, or what?
I don't think it is that. I think that it's because he had a serious chance of winning the world championship. This is the first time he's ever had that, and that's affected him. Piastri has no chance of winning the world championship realistically, and he's just driving the way he always has driven. Norris is the one under pressure. And I don't think Norris handles pressure as well as some other drivers, like say Hamilton or I don't know, some other drivers, Magnussen maybe. I know, I'm joking. 3, what?
The 3 points I want to make on Lucky's comment.
Okay, go ahead. I'll mute.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
The first one, look at the eyes of Piastri in the post-race interview. That guy is a fucking killer. If I ever saw one.
You think he's on meth or something? Do you?
No. That guy is a killer. It's John Wick category of killers. It's just bloody amazing. The second one regarding Norris. I understand your comment about him being the joker. I think that the biggest problem that Norris has, and if I'm not wrong, I said it last time too. Norris, my gut instinct is that Norris thinks that he should that the other drivers should think of him more than they actually do. So in his head, he feels way more than an accomplished champion and driver than the other guy gives credit to. So he expects other drivers to treat him with a little bit more respect. They fucking don't, and his teammate is the first one, and that really is hitting him hard. The third point is a secret weapon that I think Piastri has that Norris hasn't. And the secret weapon is Mark Webber, Piastri's agent. Mark Webber was a very good F1 racing driver. and don't forget that Mark Webber, spent a lot of his career in Red Bull when people like Vettel was there. So he's been through that kind of grinding thing, So, and I think he knows what to tell to Piastri, how to put in the right mindset. The only other person which I would want to have as a team manager, rather than Weber in this situation, would be Nico Rosberg, because that is exactly a Rosberg-Hamilton situation or a Weber-Vettel situation. So, yeah.
Worth bearing in mind as well that Mark Webber was in fact the second driver. He was not the first driver.
Right.
Oh, he was definitely
and I think that gave Seb the kind of balls to get up there and just treat him like he was a second driver.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was in the contract, Yeah.
That's
not the case. That isn't the case with Piastri, and I think Fabio made this point like about two episodes ago, and said, "Hang on a minute, I would say, and I'm agreeing with Fabio when he said this to me, that it's probably in Piastri's contract that he can't be second driver." Right, and I would say that is probably true. If pressure is put on him, I'm sure he will play the part of second driver if it's mathematically not possible to win the championship. But right now he doesn't have to, so go for it. That's
No. Yeah, but I mean, this is a thing. I mean, it might be true. I don't know. But again, this is besides the point, because regardless of the fact that there is something like that in the contract, he has somebody close to him which actually went through that kind of stuff. Which can actually tell him, you know what, I've been through that and I've been burned. I know how it is. This is what you should do that I wish somebody told me to do when I was in your situation.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. It's a dangerous game, though. Let's put it that way, because let's not say that if Mark Webber got away, or I should say Zeb Vettel got away, even after team orders were said to reverse the order to give Mark Webber the win, he still took the win anyway.
Yeah.
And he got away with that absolutely fine. Right? And I think that's what they're basing it on. But McLaren are a different team to Red Bull.
Right. Yeah,
so
but I mean, there's also...
I'm not sure that Piastri is doing himself many favours by being intransigent about saying that he will not give way to Norris. I think he would have done himself more favours at McLaren if he'd said earlier on, yeah, look, I'm second. I'm only going for wins. If it's not a win, I don't care about it. That's it. And he still would have been the winner at the end of the day.
I mean, what the hell does Piastri has to lose? It's been in F1 for 1.5 years. This is, it's his second year, right? I mean, if he shows everybody that he is a fast driver, I mean, what's the worst that can happen to him? That McLaren ditches him?
No, I agree.
I mean, with all the things happening, we don't know where Verstappen is going to go next year, because talking about contracts, it seems to me there's something really interesting in Verstappen contract. That he's allowed to get the fuck out of there if it's not between the first four in 2025, first race in 20. I mean, it's really complicated, but he has a way out. And if somebody, which has been in F1 for 2 years, is that fast, that consistent, that serious, I mean, I don't think he's got any problems, finding a seat. I mean, bloody hell, fucking Bottas, is finding a seat.
Let me just say this. Let me say this then. That for any other team, it would be difficult, right? Because if any team has a number one, number two structure, then unless Piastri is employed as number one, he's not a good employee to take on.
Yeah, but that's what he wants to do.
I know, and that's fine. And that's why it works at McLaren, because they don't traditionally have a number one, number two setup. They see who's going to win the championship, and then they back that person. That's what happened with Raikkonen in '98, right? It was quite close. And then, of course, because it was David Coulthard, I think, was the second driver. Like halfway through the season, Coulthard couldn't win. So literally all the effort went towards Raikkonen. Plus, of course, the problem.
I'm not the one making the papaya rules, so
I know. But I'm just saying that that's the case. Okay, let me just wrap up a couple of things and then throw it back to Lucky. Bub says Verstappen went from 7.8 to 8.4 points per weekend for Norris to catch up. Absolutely, Norris did not make as much. That yellow flag, if it was a yellow flag, was of course a disaster for Norris. And if he'd been up at the front at all, I think that the McLarens would have just driven away. Okay, so but Verstappen is on 313, Norris is on 254, so that is 59 points right now, and of course for the first change for this year is McLaren now on 476 points for the constructors, and Red Bull on 456 points, so they take the lead by 20 points. So I think the writing is on the wall, shall we say? And this is got to be stinging. This has got to be stinging for.
Just to help you along there. This is the first time since Spain 2022 that Red Bull have not been in the lead of the Constructor Championship.
Yep.
Yeah. Could you just look in private chat, and I will throw this back to Lucky for a little while. Go ahead, Lucky.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's only a couple other things I was going to talk about, and you just hit one of them, which was the constructors. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? Oh yeah, the accident. Piastri, Perez, and Sainz. I think the sooner they get Perez out of a fucking Formula One car, the better. He's so disappointing, to be honest. But here's the weird thing over the weekend. Apparently, the Red Bulls had gone back to their pre-Miami car, and Perez blitzed Verstappen. I mean, what's going on here? Something's not right. Something's strange. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to interrupt you, both of you, for a moment, just to say we've got this. Let's just talk about the crash for a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. I'm going to put this up. Okay, go ahead, Fabio, first. You say your bit.
I'm sorry. I just want Lucky to repeat his last point because I think I missed it. I didn't get it.
Okay. Go ahead, Lucky.
I was just saying that Perez, what's he doing in a Formula One car?
Fuck me if I know. Okay, that was the point. Yeah, I know.
I'm positive that the crash was his fault. So,
okay, well, in that case, I just need to make a previous joke, which is I think it was last season that I sang the famous Bay City Rollers song, Bye Bye Perez. Bye Bye Perez, Perez, bye. Bye Bye Perez. And still, he's here. I mean, he's like a fart in a spacesuit. I think that's the phrase. It's like just doesn't go away. All right, over to you, Fabio. For I'm going to share the screen on this picture now.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, I mean the accident was was quite. I mean, it seems to be that the two cars. So hold on a second. So basically, it all started, with Perez trying to overtake Leclerc going, deep, and Sainz saying, "Okay, what the fuck? I'm going to do that again." And then Sainz got greedy at the second corner and tried to pull a move on Leclerc, which eventually pulled him on the outside part of the track, low traction. It was really close to the wall.
Yep.
And so Perez gained on him a little bit, and he put himself in a position, with his front tire between, the tires of Sainz. Now the track over there goes on the left. Everybody does that trajectory. I mean, the images, I'm not even bothering, pulling up the screen. The fact is that Perez had a fucking parking lot on his left, while Sainz was basically keeping a racing trajectory. Maybe they were both trying to get the the drag from Leclerc. but it is a fact that if you look at the images, it seems to be that Sainz is going a little bit more on the left than Perez. Perez going straight. The thing is, so that's why a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it was Sainz driving into it."
Yeah, I've seen the in-cockpit view. Sainz, Perez does not move his steering wheel at all, left or right. He goes perfectly straight, even when he's getting pushed across slightly by Sainz. He still just goes absolutely straight.
So I've read some people saying that, that's the reason. I mean, Sainz should have, I don't know what the fuck Sainz should have done. Maybe disappear, call, transporter room, whatever the fuck. What people forget to understand is how the stewards judge those kind of accidents. And this is where the other picture that you showed before kicks in.
Okay.
That is Verstappen Hamilton in Budapest, where Verstappen, just bombed in the inside, and Lewis, was steering on the right. They collided, big kerfuffle, all that shit. Now, in that occasion, they were actually trying to give all the fault to Verstappen. But the final decision, and this is the attitude of this year of the stewards, which, I mean, I kind of agree if you want. They decided that Lewis did nothing to avoid the accident. He had space on his right, and he did nothing to avoid the accident. That is the very same exact situation with Sainz and Perez. Perez did nothing at all to avoid the accident. He just kept, his same trajectory, the same way that Lewis did in this occasion in Budapest, and the outcome was the same. So we've been talking a lot about, strange decision from the steward panel, all the stuff. Well, we now have something which is actually consistent, which is good in my book.
Yes, I hadn't thought of it that way, and now you've said it, I completely agree. I think that is a representative of a consistent stewarding decision. Lucky, what do you think about that?
Okay, well, if you put that picture up that you had before the three cars with Leclerc out in the front.
Yeah, let me just do that. Yep.
If you watch the inboard, as you said, Sainz just follows the line that the Leclerc took coming out of the corner, going over to the left for the next right-hander. Okay, yes. And Sainz went straight. He knew that. Perez went straight, and he knew Sainz would be going that because that's the line you take. He was behind. He didn't have any wheels in front or anything like that. He was behind. The car in front always has the line, and it was Sainz's line to take. And I blame Perez 100% for it.
Yeah. Okay. There is another picture before that, which makes Lucky point even more clear, because you see here Perez is actually trying to get the drag from Leclerc, but if you look at the first one that I sent you, I think when Sainz is way closer to the wall, there is another one.
Yeah, that is it, I believe. That was the other one.
No, there is another one.
Oh, okay, beg your pardon. Let me just look at it.
Yeah, I think
it's that one there. Yeah, okay, I've got it. Yeah, it's just coming up. Just give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
As you're saying, the Red Bull is pointing straight up the road.
So this is just
just before.
Just before. I mean, Sainz is on the wall, and Leclerc is in the position where he is. And if you see the second picture, you see that Leclerc has moved to the left. Sainz is following Leclerc.
Yeah.
And Perez, which finds himself behind Leclerc, says, "Fuck it, I'm not going to move. I'm going to follow Leclerc because it's going to give me drag." Yeah, but that's not the trajectory. The trajectory is the one that Leclerc is doing. So, yeah, I mean, there's no question.
Yeah, maybe
it's a racing accident, but, yeah.
Maybe Perez thought that he could hold Sainz against the wall. But, I mean, he's the car behind. You can do that maybe if you're side by side or slightly in front, but not when you're the car behind.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Yeah,
and it was and Perez was never ahead of Sainz in any point.
Yeah. But listen,
okay.
My last 2 points.
Go ahead.
Sainz's opportunistic pass on Perez was brilliant. Well done, Sainz. Boo Perez for fucking that up. And the other overtake was, of course, Piastri, Leclerc. That was just wild. That was a wild overtake. It was brilliant, though. And I'm done.
Yeah, very, very, very reminiscent of Piastri on Monza as well. Late braking down the outside of a corner, and obviously, I don't know, something about that lad makes me just go I don't know. It does remind me of Verstappen in a way, because Verstappen also got used to late dive bombs, but Verstappen does them down the inside. This kid does it down the outside, and when you do it down the outside, you know you're going to run out of grip at the apex. So that's quite special. That's quite special.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, I think that Piastri right now is also the thing which is impressing me a lot from that driver is how smart it is. Keep in mind that he lost last race in Monza because they told him to save tires, and he didn't think that Leclerc was going to be able to finish the race with those tires. What did he do this race? He said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to race. Fuck the tires. Fuck whatever. Just remember one other thing. Leclerc was 6 seconds ahead of Piastri before pitting. Okay, and that includes the pitting. When they got out of pitting, those 6 seconds were gone. One of the reasons they were gone is that they told Leclerc specifically from the pit to make a gentle introduction to the tires. Which was the right move, right? I mean, and again, if it wasn't for the fact that McLaren was so faster on the straight, that again would have been the right move, because that overtake would have been blasted in the folling lap. That didn't happen. Because he said to
say McLaren did radio him to say go easy on the tires.
Yeah.
Yes, he said.
And his reply, I think, was on the line that we're not petting.
We're not playing that game, I think he said, or something like that.
But I think there's something you said that says that we're not painting spiders or stuff like that. I mean, it probably replies something.
Did McLaren not actually tell him that he didn't need to pass Leclerc?
Did what? Sorry.
No, I don't think so.
They didn't say that. So. Okay, maybe
they just said you need to bring these tires in slowly because they're going to last you to the end.
Yeah.
Right,
and he just went no. And they said don't race him just yet.
Yeah.
Right, you'll get him later, which he would have done anyway, because as we now know, he was a lot faster at the beginning of the straight, and that would have given him at least enough speed to get into the slipstream and easily get past him. There was no chance, as it turns out, in hindsight, that Piastri would have lost that race, in my opinion, simply because of the McLaren's extra speed for the first half of that straight. And that was all that was the problem with Leclerc. Leclerc would have overtaken him easy as if he hadn't have had that speed deficit during the first 2/3 of the straight.
Every other car would have overtaken every other car if they found themselves at the beginning of the straight within 0.6 of a second. With DRS. DRS was good enough to overtake anybody if you find yourself 0.6 of a second behind it before the DRS. All the cars, except if the car in front was a McLaren. Yeah. Because 0.6 of a second was not enough.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So,
before
that is quite amazing.
Yeah, before you move on, and if we finish the point, there is one thing. Given that Lucky hasn't said that. There is a radio message from Colapinto, which was quite amazing, and that I mean, it makes me so glad there is this young breed of young drivers so eager. There was at a certain point they told him, "You got Alonso in front," and he replied, "Okay, tell me when I have to put pressure on him." Fuck yeah! I mean, that guy has got 2 races with a Williams, and he asks the guy, "Oh, tell me when I can start putting pressure on fucking Alonso." They got no. I was
just to say as well. Afterwards, in the debrief in the pit interviews, Hamilton said how great it was that this next generation of drivers were here.
Yeah.
Because they have something special, and they're going to bring something extra to F1, which we haven't had in a while. So I mean, again, I hate to say this, I'm such a huge fan of Lewis. Of course, I am, but it's stuff like that makes me go, yeah, that's why he is a classy champion.
Yeah,
he's not just a 7 times world champion; he's a classy world champion.
Yes,
he really has his finger on what's best for the sport as well as himself. And he somehow manages to walk an extremely diplomatic line between the two. And we haven't had that for a number of years. Jackie Stewart, Jim Clark, I just to say, he's the old breed, and I love it. Over to you, Lucky, for anything further?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say the same thing before you did, that Hamilton was full of praise for Behrman and Colapinto, so well done. He finished behind them both. They both managed to keep him behind. So good luck to both of them. And at least we haven't got another fucking Logan Sargent.
Yes, very true, very true.
I mean, to be fair with you, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with this car, but he had massive problems. Yeah. I looked. Like 2 or 3 laps of him from the camera car, especially when it was on hard tires. That car was all over the place, like all over the place. Every corner, it was fighting with the front, and then with the back, and then with the front, and then with the back. Which, by the way, it's another problem that Red Bull has. And my opinion is that the problem with Red Bull is that they brought some updates some races ago which are not working, because that car is so picky, it beggars belief. In free practices, Verstappen was complaining that he couldn't turn the car because it was understeering a lot. They set up something and the car went from understeer to oversteer, like there is no like that. So that says that the car is really picky. It's really difficult to find the balance. And yeah, it's a problem.
Over to you, Lucky. Any final words?
Well, what's weird about that is that after Russell got onto the hard tires, he was on the radio telling the team that the car was now a race winner in that form. So who knows?
And that's why he managed to get third. He said he was up to 3 seconds a lap faster than some of the cars in front of him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just amazing. But again,
it's not the only car. It's not the only car, though. I mean, Ricciardo complained about. I mean, Ricciardo is driving, obviously an inferior car, but also was complaining about the fact that he had a delta of about 4 seconds between between tires, and depending on the fuel going down. So either everybody has gone through a process of upgrading the car, which makes them really, really more nervous, and they are all over the place. And some other cars like McLaren and Ferrari too, they found a way to actually make the car more balanced. Maybe because Ferrari, went that way and realized that was the wrong way after Barcelona. They immediately they found the problem and they immediately went back. So I don't know. That might be one explanation.
Think so. And I know you're going to love me for this, Fabio, but I think the problem is the Pirelli tires.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I'm going to say. It's the Pirelli tires and how the cars warm them up.
They're too round.
Well, it's not bad. It's how much
too black.
It's how much they don't heat them up and how much they slide, and that's the issue. And it's to do with construction of the tires.
Yeah, that's
before you even say it.
No, it's because you're
of the tires.
I think you're too racist, and I think that you think that the tires are too black. So might be too racist.
Yeah. Unless they're the white tires, of course.
Yeah.
Pastor was saying, we're 3 seconds of that faster. Anyway, look, we will see. Oh, also just to say that the tires used this weekend were the softest in the Pirelli range. So that's some of why there was such a significant difference, because the teams have never really used the red tire all season. So I think that's why some of the teams were caught out. Anyway, we're under time still. We've got 4 minutes left. No, I mean, we're 11 minutes over, so who cares now? Lucky, please give us both. Is it a myth? Is it a quiz? Or is it a quiz or a myth? Is it a myth or a quiz? Is it a myth or a quiz? Is it a quiz or a myth?
It's quiz. Okay, so round 17, we're up 2 of the Formula One Trivia Intercontinental Championship. Fab's still in the lead with 9. Simon 6. Bob 3.
I want a recount.
Okay, hold on.
I gotta be fucking bothered. Yeah, just recount. I gotta be fucking bothered. But
you're still in 6, right?
Yeah.
So Bob was 3, and Avant.
Actually, I think you. I made a recount. I think it's 5 now, just because he asked for a recount.
Right. Okay.
Right. New rule. Whoever is behind gets to answer first. Go ahead, Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not going to be a first or second. Okay. I'm going to ask you for the names of some drivers. Okay. All of these drivers did one thing, and that one thing was they got pole position on their Formula One debut. Okay, so that's pole position on their first ever Formula One race. Now, there's 4 drivers.
Fucking idiot.
Plus, there's another 2 drivers who performed this feat, but they were Indianapolis guys, so we're not counting them. We're only talking World Championship contenders. Okay, so first 4 drivers the only 4 drivers to get pole position on their first race. So I'll have a think about it. And give me 4 names, and you'll get a point for each driver that you name. Okay.
Right. Yes. I haven't got a pen here, but I'm going to say. Okay. I'll go first. Don't you worry, Fabio. Don't you worry.
No. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. I just sprout names.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe that. There you go. There's 4 guesses, total guesses. If you're out there, we're so far behind. The video is so far behind that I don't think we got time to wait for the chat, unfortunately. But if you write the names in, as soon as you write them in, they will be taken. So don't worry, because we realise you're behind. Okay, so my 4 are going to be.
Do you want a quick clue before we give the answers?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm sure. Okay. Are you sure? No, we're sure. I'm going to say Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Heinz Harald Frentzen, bit of a guess there, and Ayrton Senna.
Okay. What do you think, Fab?
So, I mean, first of all, I have no idea. Literally no idea. So I'm just, saying 4 names out of my... just pulling 4 names out of my ass.
Okay.
So I would say Senna, Schumacher, Farina, and Clark.
Okay, so far, we've had 1 named, and Fab got him.
Oh.
So
I got him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Farina.
Okay.
Farina's one of the 4.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I can't believe that none of the others.
I'll give you a clue, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've both had an answer. The last 3 names you're looking for are either North or South Americans.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nuvolari.
Well, he's not North American.
Yeah.
Or South American.
Isn't he? Oh, he's Argentinian, isn't he?
He's Italian.
Oh, is he? All right. Which is the Argentinian one then?
Sorry, you said it's either North American or South American. You said.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Fangio is the one I'm thinking of, right?
No.
Okay, it's not Fangio.
Well, I mean, okay. Should we go back and forth?
Yeah, you have a guess now.
Okay, so I think Farina is right.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the other one might be Piqué.
No, it's not.
Oh
okay.
Shit!
I'm gonna go for Andretti.
You've got one, so that's one each.
Oh shit! I got Andretti too. Fuck! So you burned me there. I mean, it's written there. You know, it's not that.
I'm sorry, Fabio. Okay, you're
I would say.
Hold on. Bob has got one. Okay, but he needs to be more specific. Bob, you need to be more specific.
Oh, Jacques Villeneuve.
And
Emerson Fittipaldi.
No.
I thought we were doing one at a time here.
Well, because Bob Evans got one.
Bob got one.
Okay, but we don't have to pay
attention to that. Everybody's got one so far. Fab's got 3 now.
All right.
You got whoever it was you got.
Yeah.
Well, I burned Fittipaldi for you, so you got
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go for yeah. Okay.
You've all got one, so there's one.
Can I have another guess now then? Because it's my turn.
You can indeed.
Thank you. I'll go Phil Hill.
No.
Okay. Over to you, Fabio.
Remember.
No, just let him guess.
Did you already said Fangio?
He did, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So
you want that?
No, I mean, of course I can't remember. Holy shit.
It's not Maldonado, Bob.
No.
Okay. Don't just. Oh, honestly. Let him guess first, and then you can say the bit.
I was talking to Bob. That was a private conversation. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here.
Let me go back to my clue, okay?
Okay.
I said that the 3 remaining were either North American or South American. And Villeneuve and Andretti are both North American.
Yeah. No, I'm desperately trying to find a South American.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, fuck. Holy shit! I think I have it, but I can't remember the name.
I have a name, but
yeah. Go ahead. I mean, I can't.
I'd go maybe Patrese then.
No, Patrese is Italian.
He's not Italian either, is he?
He's Italian as well.
You pillock.
I get them. They're easily confused. I'm like epitome, the helmet Marco.
No. I'm okay. I'm pretty sure he's from Argentina.
Okay. I don't know. I said the Argentinian one.
No, there is another one. Shit. Can't remember. No. Listen, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Let me have one more guess then. Let me see if I can dig a name out from somewhere.
Maybe. Let's have a go first.
Yeah.
You should probably know this, actually, Fab.
Oh no! Yeah, I think I got him. No. I'm trying to remember the name. Hold on a second.
Come up with it. You say it.
Oh shit! Okay, fuck. Okay, can I say that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So listen, I don't remember the name. Okay, but I'm gonna give you enough clues in order for you to figure out who the fuck I'm talking about. Okay,
Okay.
He is Brazilian. He also raced for.
No. He's Argentinian. We talked
He's
about this
Argentinian.
already.
Okay, yeah. Forget about it. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another Argentinian driver. Eh?
Yeah, but when I said Argentinian, you said, eh. So
yeah,
I
thought you were saying he wasn't Argentina. I thought he was close to Argentina.
Yeah.
I'll give you another wee clue, okay? Another wee clue. This
Okay.
happened in 1972.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
An Argentinian driver, which is not.
I think he drove for Ferrari, didn't he?
72.
I don't think we're getting
Not in
it. We're
72.
wasting
He
time.
did drive for Ferrari, but not in 1972.
I think we're wasting time. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just say it now, please, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
It's the one and only Carlos Reutemann.
Reutemann. There you
Jesus
go.
fuck.
Williams.
Jesus fuck.
Okay.
So
I should have known
there
that
you
as
go.
well.
Jesus
But it was a Williams.
Reutemann drove for Ferrari, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Drove for a lot of people,
Jesus
Reutemann.
Christ. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, that was fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
It wasn't.
I mean, he also drove for Cooper Sucar, which was owned by Fittipaldi. So I was closer, but yeah.
Okay, well, you all at least got a point. Bob got a point. You two got points. So
Yeah, happy with that.
Still ahead with 10. Simos on 7. Bob on 4. So you did well enough. You all got one between you. So that was pretty good. I think it was that's actually quite a hard question.
Yeah. Well done.
I think.
Well done, Bob Elvis. Okay, thank you so much for that.
Bob. Yep.
I just won the moral victory because I wrote Andretti here. Yeah, see.
I think I said Andretti, didn't I?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I won the moral victory because I wrote Andretti. So yeah.
I wrote Andretti as well.
Yeah, but you can show it because you have no camera and you suck.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. I do have a camera, but unfortunately, all it shows is that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Bub. Really appreciate you taking part. Bub, you're the real winner, as always. And just to say, also, I think we should just quite quickly mention that Mike Crack says, welcome to Adrian Newey. We're looking forward to it. That's what Mike Crack says.
They're going to need all the Newey they can get.
Yes, actually. Absolutely.
That car is terrible.
So, also, it means that you will continue to hear my crack jokes for the next few years, which has got to be a win for everybody. So, thank you very much. We got one more comment. Great show. Thank you. No, thank you. And hopefully, Avanti Man wasn't here. But if you see this on replay, Avanti Man, we love you too. So, no worries. And that's it. And we're out of here. Take care.